Hello friends, today in this tutorial we will be building a API in Hapi.js and MongoDB. So let me just show you the demo of this application. I am using Postman to test my API. So this is the API that we will be building here. So we have the MongoDB database here. I have created a employees table here inside it. So if I want to insert some data into it, I will be hitting a endpoint which will be localhost :3000 slash person, and I will be making a post request to it. So just change this to post request, and here in the body just select here raw and then select here from JSON. We will be passing the JSON data. Inside JSON data we have two properties, first name and last name. So we have passed this John and Harry here in the first and last name. If I send this request, you will see that this record will be returned here. You can see that this has got a unique ID attached to it. Now if I check the database, if I refresh the database, you will see that guys, one entry has been successfully added. So now in order to add another entry, I can just change the name to, let's suppose, Robert, and again send this. So now I will have two entries. You can see that this entry has got unique ID. If I refresh my database, you will see that two entries have been added. Now in order to get all the entries, I will be having a get request to this URL, which is /people, and this will return all the people which is inserted in the MongoDB. If I send this request, you will see that guys, these two persons have been returned here. This is a JSON response, John Harry and Robert Harry. So we have successfully getting all the people. Now in order to update the details here of any person, we will be making a put request. So just select here put, and we will be passing a slash, and then we will be copy pasting the ID of the person that you want to update. So let's suppose I want to update the first entry. I will be copy pasting the ID, and in the body section I will be replacing John. Let's suppose I will change John to John 2, and the last name I also want to change to Sina 2. And you can see that if I send this request, sorry, I need to just change this endpoint to person, not people here. So just change this endpoint to person here. If I send this request, you will see that our first name and last name has got updated. And now if I just see the database also, you will see that these first name and last name has been updated. So this is the update functionality. So now guys, in order to build this application, just create a new folder inside on the desktop. I will call this as Hapi.js CRUD. So you can just call anything of your choice. So just enter into this folder and open command line in this folder, and just initialize your npm init. This is the command to initialize the Node.js project. Enter it. So it will ask some questions here. I will change the entry point to server.js, and rest of the things will constant. So just enter and put yes here, and this will generate your package.json file. So first of all, we just need to install Hapi. So HAPI Hapi, and we also need to have Mongoose. Mongoose is kind of a library in order to interact with MongoDB within our Node.js application. And the third dependency will be a validation library, which will be Joi. So Joi is kind of a validation of the records that we will be inserting into the database. So just click enter, and this will be installing these three dependencies in our project here. So this will take some time. I will be back when it is successfully installed. So now basically guys, you can see that all the dependencies have been successfully installed. Now we can just open this in our Visual Studio Code by executing a simple command code dash. So this will open the folder inside Visual Studio Code. So inside this, first of all, we have generated the package.json file. So inside this, all the dependencies are there: Hapi, Joi, and Mongoose. Now just create the server.js. Inside this, first of all, we just need to import all these things. So first of all, we will import Hapi. So this will require Hapi, and the second thing will be Mongoose, and we will be having Mongoose require Mongoose, and the third will be Joi. So this will be validation library, so require it. And the next thing, we need to start our Hapi.js server. So this is very simple. We just need to create a server variable, and we will use new happy.connect method. Oh, sorry, server method. This takes two options. First is the host option. Host will be equal to localhost, and the second option is the actual port number. So port number will be equal to, let's suppose, 4000. You can give any port number of your choice. And now we just need to connect to the happy.server. But before that, we can also connect to the MongoDB by using Mongoose. So I can just write mongoose.connect. This is the connect method. Here we just need to pass the full path of our MongoDB. So I have the community edition installed in my desktop. Here you can see that I have created a database of employee DB. So now guys, one other dependency we need to install here, which is called as nodemon. So nodemon is kind of a script that runs whenever you update your application. So this will be a dev dependency. So just execute this command, npm install nodemon --save -dev. So this is a dev dependency. So this will install nodemon. I will be back whenever it is installed. So now guys, our nodemon dependency is installed here. So check out the package.json file. So this will contain the nodemon dependency inside our dev dependencies. So here inside the script section, you just need to make a change here. We have to write our start script. So inside start script, we will just write nodemon followed by the file name, which is server.js. So now if you run this application, you will just need to run a simple command, which is npm start. So this will start your application with the nodemon module. So you will see that guys, node server.js, it has started the server. Now we just need to make some routes in our application, so that when we make a get request or post request in our happy server. So now just before making the routes here, we will be having our data that needs to be inserted here. So now we will just define the structure of the data inside Mongoose here. So we will be making a constant variable of person model. So there is a method inside Mongoose library, which is model. So inside this, you just need to pass the first argument is a table name inside your database. So just go to MongoDB, and whatever table name that you have given here, in my case I have given employees, so I will just write in the first argument employees, and the second argument is the structure. So this takes a JSON object, so a set of curly brackets. So the first property will be first name, so colon, and the type will be string, and the second property will be last name, and the type will also be string. So now we have successfully defined our model here in our through the use of Mongoose. So now we are ready to build our routes. So now basically guys, we will be making the post route in order to save our data inside our MongoDB database. So it is very easy. Inside happy.js, we have the route method. So inside this takes a set of curly brackets. First it takes an option, which is method. This will be a post method. The second is the actual path on which we just need to hit this. We will be hitting this as /person, and the third argument will be the handler. So this will handle the actual request which is coming in. So this will be an async function. This takes two arguments. First is the request, and second is the h variable. H variable is a happy.js constant variable which will handle the actual request and response. So this will be an arrow function, a set of curly brackets. So first of all, we will create our model, a actual person that needs to be inserted. So we will use our person model class that we have created in the earlier step. So inside this, we will be passing our request parameters, request JSON. So inside this, we will be having our request.payload. So this will take the actual request JSON object that we will pass, and it will insert into the actual model class. Then we just need to save this. So we will be saving it by await person.save. So this is a Mongoose method in order to save the data inside the MongoDB. Now at last, we will just return it as h. We will make use of the h variable, h.response, and we will pass the actual result to it. That's it. Now we just need to wrap this inside try catch. So just write here try. We will just execute all this code inside try catch. So we can just catch any kind of error if the error take place inside this catch clause, and we can just return it h.response error, and we can just also send the code as well, code 500. That's it. If any kind of error take place, let me just format my code. And last but not least, we just need to start the Hapi.js server. This takes a simple function, server.start. That's it. So this will start the server. Now if I check my command prompt, if I re-execute this, which is npm start, if I execute this, so you will see that, guys, it is now running this application. Now if I go back to Postman, now if I make a new request, so just click on the plus icon here, so this will open a new window for you. So inside this will be a post request, so select the post method here, and the URL will be http, or you can just say localhost colon, the port number is 4000 /person. So this is our request here. If I just don't pass any kind of object here, if I pass an empty body, if I send this post request, you will see that nothing will happen because I haven't passed any kind of response here. So just go to body here and select here raw, and then select from here JSON, and we will pass inside this curly brackets, we will pass our first name property as, let's suppose, John, and comma, the last name property as Paul. And you can see that these are first name, last name. If I now send this request, a post request to this route here, it is telling that could not get any response here. Let me just see what is. I think I haven't started this, so I want to open command line in this and then run npm start. I think that I haven't started that server, that is why it was having some kind of issue. So this will start our application, guys, so just wait. Nodemon is executing here. Let me just stop this server. Let me just close this. So it is just running here. Just wait, guys. So it is just. So this is my application. We are starting the server. So this is the whole code. You can see that, guys. So we are hitting the post request at this route /person. So now if I see if it is started or not. So now you can see that, guys, it is successfully started this application at server. Now if I refresh this, if I send this once again, guys, we have made a mistake here. I have just changed this port number to 3000. So just change this port number to 4000. That was a mistake. If I now refresh the application here, just change this to 4000, and in the body, just select here raw, and again select here JSON, and pass your first name and last name properties. So inside this we will be having first name as John, and the last name, let's suppose we have Paul. And now hopefully if I send this request here, post request, it will be you can see that, guys, it has created a unique ID attached to it. This is the first name and last name. Now if I check the database, if I refresh it, currently it is empty. Now you will see that one entry has been successfully added. Now we are done with the create route. We are successfully creating entries inside of a MongoDB using Hapi.js. Now we just need to get all the persons. Let me just insert one more person in the body. Let me just change this name to Robert, and the last name, let's suppose I change this to Heli. So now if I send this, you will see that it will create 2 entries. You can see that. Now we just need to have a GET request in order to list out all the entries which are currently present inside the database. Now we will be looking at that. So now we can just have some validation, guys. So we have the validation library, which is Joi here. We can just integrate this validation inside our post request. Wherever we are getting the data in the request here, we can have some validation attached to it. So after the path property, we will have some options here. So inside this, a set of curly brackets and put a comma here. So inside this options, we can just provide our validation. So this takes a validation object. So colon, set of curly brackets. Inside this takes a payload. So payload is kind of information that we are receiving here. We are receiving first name. So this will be Joi dot string. This is a string. This is a method. And we will be calling a required method. So this is required here. So this is kind of a validation. Put a comma and we will repeat this for last name. This will be Joi dot string dot required. That's it. So you can see that, guys, this is required. So basically it is telling that these 2 fields should be required. If we pass an empty request here, this will not accept request. So you can see that. In order to display some kind of message here, we will put a comma here after payload, and we will copy paste this lines here. You can see that if I just we have the fail action here. If we don't provide these values, which is first name and last name, this error message will take place. So this is kind of a Hapi.js. We are using h.response. Inside this, we are passing the actual error .details .takeover. So just copy paste this code here, or pause the video, write this code. So now if I go back to Postman, and if I go back to the same post request that we were making here, and now if I just delete the JSON here, if I pass a empty body here, and if I want to post a request here, if I send this, you will see that, guys, one error message will be here. So it is saying that there was an error. Let me just see what is the error. Validation is not allowed. Let me just see what is the problem here. I think, guys, this is validate, not validation. You can see that, guys, this is validate. So just make sure that you spell it right. This is validate, sorry. Now if I refresh it, hopefully it will, you can see that no errors are there. Now if I send a request without having a body, if I send it, you will see that there is a message which is printed out. Value must be an object here. You can see that. Now if I put a set of curly brackets and I don't pass any kind of value to it, and then there will be a different message. You can see that first name is required. You can see that, guys. So this is kind of validation that we are doing with Joi here. Joi is very strict validation library. You can just use Joi in your production level Node.js applications. Now we will be making a GET request in order to list out all the employees. So now we will be building the GET request, guys. So this will be very simple. Server.route we will again use. So inside this time the method will be post or GET. So just initialize method to GET. And the second option will be the path, actual path that we need to insert this GET request. So this will be / people. This will be plural because there are multiple peoples out there, multiple persons. The third will be the handler. So this will be a async function. This takes the request and the h variable, standard stuff. This will be arrow function. And now we just need to list out all the peoples. For that I will be declaring a result variable. This will be new person model, and we will be calling a simple method to it, which will be find and execute. So this will execute the method for us, and now we can just return h.response. We can just return the result here. So this needs to be present inside try catch. So I forgot here, so just put a try catch here, and if any kind of error take place, we can just have in the catch block, so return h.response error, and code I can also pass 500. That's it. So now if I go back to Postman here, and if I just see if any kind of error take place, so nothing is there, the application runs successfully. So now if I go back to Postman, if I change to this get request and also change this to people, and if I send this request, let me just see, I think that I have made a mistake in the syntax. Oh sorry, I need to put a await here because this is an async method. So right here above person model I need to write await. That's it. So this was the mistake. Now if I go back to the application, if I go back to Postman and make a get request to this route here, if I send this, you will see that guys, it is displaying all the 2 employees which is there inside MongoDB, John Paul and Robert Halley. So you can see that these are the 2 records which are there inside it. So now we are done with the get request. Now we just need to update and delete. So we will be tackling the update request next. Now guys, we will be writing the update route. So just write here server.route. So inside this, first of all, we just need to specify the method. This time the method will be put. So in HTTP verbs, we have the put method in order to update any kind of things in programming. So the second will be the path here. So we will be passing this /person/ in the set of curly brackets. I will be dynamically be inserting the ID which will be passing of the employee here inside ID here. Now we just need to have our handler. So this will be again async function. So this expects a request and the h variable. This will be arrow function. So firstly we just need to select the record by its ID. So we will be declaring a person variable and await person model, and there is this in Mongoose we have a method which find by ID and update. So it will find the record by its ID and it will update it. So first of all we just need to pass request.params.id, the actual ID, and then we just need to pass the data that we need to update. So this will be request.payload, and the third argument will be new to true. So just have this argument here. So in set of curly brackets you pass new to true. That's it. So this is our updation here. Now we just need to return which is h.response, the actual record which was got updated. That's it. Now again we just need to write this inside try catch. So make try catch here, and if any kind of error take place, you can just return this, return h.response error, and we can also return the code as well, 500. That's it. Now as we did in the post request, we can also have some validation. Just after it we can just provide options here, set of curly brackets. Inside this we will be having validate and payload, validate, and inside this we have the payload. So inside this we can have first name. This time we can just use another method of Joi which is optional. So you can just make this field as optional in the update functionality. Comma, we can just repeat this for the last name as well, Joi string dot optional. That's it. So after this we can just put a comma and also display the messages. So just paste this lines here, fail action, and let me just align this code here. So just pause the video and return this stuff here. That's it. So now hopefully if I make a put request under this route here, /person/ copy paste the ID, if I go back to Postman here and select here put, and let's suppose I want to update the first required, I can just copy paste the ID of it and make this request person/ and copy paste this ID here. That's it. Now in the body I need to put the first name. Let's suppose I change the first name to, let me check. The first name is John here, John Paul. Let me just change the first name to John 2, comma, last name, let me just change this last name to Paul 2. Paul 2. That's it. Now if I make this request, these values should be changed. If I send this, so now you will see that, guys, these values, first name and last name, has been successfully changed, John 2 to Paul 2. Now if I refresh it, you will see that these values have been successfully changed here. Now one last operation is remaining, which is the delete operation. We just need to select by its ID and delete the record. Now guys, we will be having the last operation, which is a delete operation. So for that we will write server.route. Inside this, first of all, we will have the method here, which will be delete. Second will be the path here. So this will be /person/ the dynamic ID, which is in double curly brackets. So put a comma, and then we have the handler. So handler will be a async function which contains request and the h variable. So this will be arrow function. So we will first of all select the person which needs to be deleted. This we will do by first of all writing await here, and then we have the person model. So in Mongoose we have a method which find by ID and delete. So we will be using this method. First of all, we will pass the request.params.id. We will pass the actual ID, and then we will execute it. That's it. Execute method. That's it. So this will delete the record by its ID. Now we just need to write this inside try catch. So first of all, we just need to return this. So return h.response. We just need to pass the person. So this will display the person which got deleted. Now we will close the catch or try. Inside the catch we have the error. Now we can just display the error also if any error take place. So h.response error, and we can also send some kind of code 500. That's it. Now if I save this, guys, hopefully it will also delete the records also. If I go back to Postman and make a post delete request, now just change to delete here, and the route will be simple here. I am passing this ID here. Let me delete this record here, which is John 2 and Paul 2. If I send the request, you will see that it will display the record which got deleted. Now if I refresh the database, hopefully this record will be deleted. You will see that, guys, one record is there. Now if I make a get request, only one record will be returned. A get request to /people. So this will display all the records which are currently present. If I send this, only one record will be returned. You can see that, Robert Haley. So now in this application we have developed a full stack API in Hapi.js with the help of Mongoose and Joi validation library. So thanks very much, guys, for watching this video. If you like this video, please hit the like button, and also share this video with your friends, and also hit the red subscribe button which is there below the video, and also tap the notification bell icon. And I will be seeing you in the next video. Until then, thank you very much.